Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Inspired Books Group coaching call. Today is Tuesday, February 18th, and we did not have a call last week because I was sick. So you guys gained an hour back of your life. So I want to hear what's been going on. I know two of you have been super busy preparing for a launch. So I'm curious how those are going, what kind of response you're getting from building a launch team and all of that and whatever else the rest of you are doing. So somebody jump in. Rod.
I'll start. Yeah, everything's actually the book's up on Amazon right now. I wanted to get a proof copy of the print book, so it went live, but I'm not advertising that it's live yet till the first. Um, Launch team is in progress. I've got a good group already. One of them already read the whole book and sent me back a glowing review. He said that I'll put something like that up on Amazon when I'm supposed to, but I wanted to let you know ahead of time. So said he was going to buy a bunch of copies, and he had a bunch of friends and family members he wanted to hand it out to. So that was fun. So yeah, everything's right in line to launch on the first.
Good, good. Yeah, I sat down and read it one of those days that I was sick. Like when I started feeling a little bit better, I think it was Friday, and I can't do anything else. I might as well make use of my time. So yeah, easy read, nice and short, to the point. It's good.
Yeah.
So, Rod, you mentioned something about it being live, so you could order copies faster, right? Instead of because the author copies take forever. I've ordered two from mine, and they're not going to be here until like March 7th, and
Mm.
it's so I won't have them ahead of time. And so, knowing that the launch thing is 30 days, if I waited till like 10 days before and I actually had it live, then I could order and get
Yeah.
more faster, right?
Yeah.
That's a really great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
haven't asked to be on your launch team just because I don't know if I have time to read it ahead of
Right.
time.
I
I don't
get
want
it.
to commit when I know I don't know if I have time. But
Yeah.
Kathy said it's a short, easy read,
It
so
is.
maybe I'll reach out.
Yeah.
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 Mine
It's
is not a short, easy read, and I'm aware of that.
Yeah,
yeah.
no,
So
it's like what, 30 pages or whatever.
Yeah. I think it's
In the Word document. Not,
yeah. Yeah. I think
it'll be
it's
longer
yeah,
than that, but
I think it's actually 50 pages in the print.
okay.
But yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
I'll email you then. I
yeah,
can I can commit to that.
yeah, it's short. It's an easy read. I wanted it to be that way. Well, I think God wanted it to be that way because I thought it would be longer, but then when I was done with it, it was done, and I could tell it was done. Yeah.
yeah, good. Yeah, it's
Hey
awesome.
Rod,
Yes.
what if you're the kind of person that doesn't like reading those kind of books? Would it still be an interesting book? I mean, the
Um.
fact that it's only 50 pages sounds good to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think really anybody. I tried to write it from the sense of someone who's a non-believer reading it,
Okay.
rather than someone who was, really in tune with the Word of God, and so it's not really intended necessarily for Christians, although I run into lots of Christians who don't understand salvation. So, you
Really?
know,
I'm
I,
shocked.
yeah, I think
Sorry.
it can be a good tool for them as well. But its real intention is for people to buy it and hand it out to their friends, or you know, send them send them the link to the ebook and that type of thing.
Okay.
Rod, I
Thanks.
was wondering, like, let's say I'm I'm ministering to someone,
Mhm.
and we're in a, maybe I'm giving them a Bible study or something
Mhm.
like that. would you say this would be a good book for somebody, where you are maybe one on one, or maybe it's a group
Mhm.
of, 2, 3 people that maybe just gave their lives to the Lord, but they don't have a clue what that even means, that you could use it as kind of a Bible study?
I think you could. I didn't, unlike the other books that I've done where it was intended for small group study, so it had discussion questions at the end of each chapter. This one does not. Mainly because I wanted to keep it super short and just really to the point. My thinking with it is that, it would be the kind of book that, you could go up to a friend or a family member who wasn't saved and say, "Hey, I just read this really great book. I, thought of you. I thought you might like to read it. If I loaned it to you, would you? If I gave it to you, would you read it?" And if they say yes, then you give it to them and you set up a time. I'd really love to get your feedback on it. And so you set up a time, say, how about if we get back together again here in a week? It's a quick, easy read. It won't take you very long. And then when you get back together with them, whether it's by phone or in person, you just say, so, did you read the book and what did you think?
Hmm.
And if you get a positive response from it, first of all, you find out if they prayed the prayer, because at the end of the book, I do ask them to give their lives to the Lord. And so if they say they did, then you can begin to disciple them. If they didn't, then you can find out maybe what's holding them back and walk them through that, or they may have questions.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, and for that matter, anybody could take any book and use it as, for a book club, or
Yeah,
for, you know, it doesn't have to be made that way, but
right.
you can certainly, if it's something that you wanted to use as a supplement, and
Yeah,
maybe read a chapter together or sign a chapter, and then each week you talk about it or something. So you could do
yeah,
that too. Yeah. Because, like you said, even a lot of Christians don't necessarily understand how to talk about it.
right.
So maybe they've got somebody that, like I said, they've talked to, and they're like, yeah, okay, I want to give my life to the Lord.
Yeah,
And they pray with you, but then that's kind of the extent of it, and then you don't really know where to go with it. And
yeah.
so I just
Well, and
all around it can be a tool, a good tool.
yeah, and I've found a lot of people throughout the years that I've been a Christian that uh, at some point in time in their life, they prayed a salvation prayer. And but you can tell from their life there's no fruit. And so
Mm.
it was just a head thing that they, did maybe with their friends or, something like that, but it wasn't a heart salvation.
Because
Uh,
somebody told him to, um, it was, what do they call that? Youth service, right?
yeah,
Sunday morning youth service. And
yeah,
I have no idea what the sermon was, but I was just bawling at the end of it. So I went
yeah,
up. And so this sweet little sophomore, I was a freshman, she might have been a junior, led me through the sinner's prayer. I had no
yeah,
idea what I was doing,
yeah,
and come back tonight and get baptized. And
yeah,
so I did, because that's what you do. But
right.
yeah, and then we had this little correspondence course that we took, and it's like, and think about, and I'm like, I don't have a testimony. I don't know what the hell just happened, you know? So the thought that there's something that can help make sense out of that.
Yeah.
I'm curious, have you ever heard of the five thresholds?
No, I haven't.
You might want to look at that, research that.
Yeah,
Somebody from one of the campus Christian organizations, I don't remember which one, maybe Youth for Christ, I don't know. But they have a book about Christianity in the postmodern world
mm,
that
yeah,
we give to new leaders at our church,
mm,
okay, for one of our ministries. And in that book, they talk about there are five thresholds, and there's actually, I think you can find a YouTube video on it as well, that a person crosses on their way to salvation. Threshold number 5, oddly enough, is, hey, God, I'm a sinner. Can you please save me?
mhm,
But there's 4 thresholds before that. And the very
mm,
first one is knowing a Christian that you can trust.
Interesting.
because, and I'm making up the statistic, but it was a large number, so I go with 80%. I don't remember and I can't find where I put my book.
Yeah.
But like 80% of unbelievers don't even know a Christian that they feel like they can trust,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which just
Yeah.
boggles
That's a
my
big,
mind.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Anyway, I'm done
and
taking us off track.
probably they have a number of friends who actually are Christians. They just don't know they're Christians. That's the worst part.
Yeah, true.
I've I've thought at times I should write a book called Secret Agent Christian.
On the DL.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, that's
That's
good.
funny. Yeah.
yeah,
So
I
I'll
had
email
that.
you, Rod, to get on your list.
All right, sounds good, Sam. Yeah, I had that experience with my best friend, who I had known for years and years and years. And he and I, back in our heathen days, had decided that, the two things we would never talk about were religion and politics. And so we never did. And then one day, and I think I'd been saved about, I don't know, 6 months to a year, somewhere in there. And I walk into church, and we had decided to go to a different service. We were at a big church and there were lots of services. And so we decided to go to a different service than we normally do. And I walk into the foyer, and there he is. He's standing there. And I went, Skip. And he went, Rod. And, and we both discovered we had gotten saved. But we hadn't talked about it. We hadn't even told each other. Yeah, he'd been saved for about a year. And I think I was 6 months to close to a year. So yeah, it was
That's cool.
crazy.
Oh. Sam, tell us
So on,
everything.
yeah,
You've been a busy girl.
yeah. So I decided to record for Audible. And so I got that done, and it's still pending. They're like, it's not live, but I've submitted for their approvals. Everything's done. I have the email that I'm planning on sending out to my launch people today. I used some of what you suggested, Kathy, but I added in some other stuff, basically telling them they're going to get 3 emails. This is one of 3, so that they don't think they're getting on a big list about stuff. And so they'll get this one, which has the PDF for them to pre-read if they want to. I'm saying you don't have to read the whole thing before the book, but just to get an idea. And then the second email will be on March 8th with a reminder to order. And then about a week later saying, hey, have you left your review? And I'm sending with my program, I can do a text at the same time. For most of them, I have a phone number too. And the first message that goes out today, which I haven't set the time yet because I wanted to talk to y'all to make sure I was not doing anything I shouldn't, but is basically just saying, hey, this is Sam, my texting number for Safe Heart Connections. I'm not going to be sending you a ton of messages. I just sent you information about my book and want to make sure you check your email to get it. Right. So, um, my concern has been that people, because mine is not a quick, easy read, that if somebody starts reading it and then they start to get like they feel like they have to read it or something. So I'm trying to make sure I say you don't like, I don't know any more way I can be more clear that you don't have to read the whole thing before the thing. Is there anything else you would suggest?
Well, yeah, first of all, you can you can give them a summary of each chapter, so that they
Okay.
don't have to read the whole book. You can say, if you don't have time to read the book, here's a summary. And that'll give you the gist of what's in the book. So you could do that. I
Okay.
also strongly recommend you send out far more than 3 emails,
Okay.
because you send out an email today and then you don't send one out till March 8th, you'll be lucky if anybody's read your book.
Really?
Human
Okay. I'm
nature.
glad that's why you're the boss.
Human nature procrastinates. So you want to, first of all, you want to attach your PDF to every email, because,
Okay.
I'll get all kinds of emails and I don't have time to read that. I'll read it later, whatever. And
Okay.
then I'll
That's really
forget
good.
about it. So, or it gets buried. If people get 100 emails a day, it might get buried. So you want to make sure you're sending them multiple emails so that they see it. And you want to attach it because they may not have seen the last one. And you want to remind them, keep them updated. Okay, we got 1 week to go before launch date. If you haven't started reading it yet, here's a copy again, a
Okay.
PDF copy. And then you're gonna want to update them, you know, at least a couple days in advance, and every day you want to remind them, because if you don't remind them, this is not their priority.
Yeah, it is mine and I'm
Yeah.
excited, but yeah,
They've
okay,
got
got
their
it.
life and they don't care about you and what you're excited about.
It's
So
so rude.
if you don't remind them, constantly remind, it's human nature,
Okay.
unfortunately. We're very self-absorbed.
Yeah.
That's who we are. And so you have to keep reminding them that this is what's going on, this is what's happening. So I wouldn't promise them that they're only going to get three
Okay. Yeah.
emails. You know,
Okay.
if you just say, during the launch and everything, you'll get email reminders from me, and once this is all over, then
Yeah.
you can say something like that.
Back to regularly
Yeah,
scheduled
yeah,
emails.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, otherwise, honestly, you'll be lucky if anybody's read your book.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah,
So
you got
I think I have about 70 people on my
good.
list. So that's a good,
That's a good
and
number.
most of them have actually said yes. There's a couple that I added in that I've been on their podcast recently and I mentioned the book and they were interested. So I'm adding them on there as well. But most of the people have actually said yes, that they want to. So we'll see what happens
Yeah,
with that.
good. And the other thing is just make sure in your emails, especially as you're getting closer to launch, or, and launch date, the instructions that you give them, that for the ebook, they need to flip through it.
Oh,
You
I've got that on the
know,
thing.
okay.
Yeah.
Because
And
Amazon can
don't
see.
leave a review if you order the hardback and you haven't got it yet. Wait
Yeah.
till you get the book.
I just
That's
ordered
something I wouldn't have thought of. And you
Yeah.
mentioned that on a call, and I'm like, oh wow, yeah.
So,
Um,
yeah.
anything else? Because like I've never done this on purpose. I've done a ton of journals, but I don't know
Mhm.
anything else. Any other suggestions? Because I'm gonna go back through and reread everything one more time. I did catch some phrase out. My editor Donna did a great job. Um, I only caught one word that said as that should have been is out of the whole thing. Like she caught all the stuff. But when I was reading it for Audible, there were some sentences, even though they were grammatically correct, reading it didn't feel like me.
Mhm.
And so I switched some of that up a little bit to make it make more sense. But my plan is to go back through and reread it one more time just to see if there's anything else
Mhm.
that needs to be changed. But before I do a final upload on Amazon, because I don't want to look at it anymore. Like I've been so focused on this, I could almost tell you the whole book,
Mhm.
like without even looking at it.
Mhm.
And so I'm afraid that me going back to reread it, I'm not gonna, even if I read it out loud, it's not gonna be
Well,
the same.
because for one, you just read it out loud when you did your audiobook. So, in a sense, you have already reread it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. So should I just let it ride and be like, if there's a
Yeah.
couple of minor errors, there's not going to be anything major.
Yeah. Nah, unless you really want to, I would say don't worry about it, because you've read it many times, and the fact that you've read it to do your audiobook, that was kind of like another edit. You would have picked
Yeah.
up on some things as you read that.
Yeah, I did. And I had it open and I made changes while I was right there and did it in real time.
Yeah, yeah. And when you get to publish date, I would email at least twice, a minimum of 2 times on your launch date, and then maybe a couple times the next day. And you always want to be asking them for the review, and you can, give them the link, and um
Oh, when do I, so the link for ordering, like, I guess because I planned on actually having it go live on March 8th, I wouldn't get the link until then. But now if I do it a few days early, then I would have that link to put in there
Yeah.
for ordering.
Yeah, you would. And you want to make sure you use your clean link.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw it on something you sent or
Yeah.
I was watching something.
So, Amazon.com/DP, whatever, your number is all you need. And you can get that right off of your KDP dashboard.
Okay.
Go to,
Yeah.
you just go to it and click on it and it takes you out to your page, but then just copy it. Yeah.
So I did have something very interesting happen that I didn't expect. I've been telling people I'm writing my story. Well, last weekend, not this weekend, but the weekend before, my dad and I were texting, and he started to make up, like, apologize for stuff that happened when I was a kid again. And I'm
Mm,
like, he's like, well, if I knew what I knew now, I wouldn't have done those things. Like, it would have been done differently. And I'm like, well, duh, that happens for all of us.
yeah.
Like, I mean, we all would do better if we knew better. And he thought this book was about him and us, like my whole thing.
Oh,
And I said, well, I actually, just to put you at ease, I didn't write our story because it was messy.
yeah.
And that's why I decided not to do it, because I don't want to do anything, because even though it's the truth, my dad is not that same person, right? And I don't want to do anything that would dishonor him. So anyway, I said I didn't write about our story. I wrote about my story. And he goes, "Oh, well, that didn't give you much to talk about." And I said, "Well, I came up with 20,000 words, so something was there." And so, but I wonder how stressed out he's been about this, because
Yeah.
and that was not my intent at
Yeah.
all. It's like I started this on March 8th of 2015. That's where it starts. I only mention a little tiny bit about childhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I'm very glad though that I switched the direction, because at first I was going to write the whole thing, and I felt like it wasn't time, and that's why I started from the March 8th thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was God confirming to me, like, oh wait, this was the right thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's nice that he said something. You
Oh
guys
yeah.
could have
Yeah.
that conversation now and you could clear the air and
Well, but we've already cleared all the
no,
air. It's like I don't
I
think
meant about what the book is about.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, he's apologized and made amends, and I have too, because he wasn't the only jerk in the situation. I moved out on his 40th birthday and didn't tell him I left a note.
Oh,
Oh,
I was not okay. I was not okay. So anyway,
yeah.
um,
Okay.
so this has been a good process for me
Yeah.
with him and just the whole thing. So
Awesome. Good. Yeah.
yeah,
So I would amp up the number of emails you're gonna send out. Uh,
okay,
just keeping in mind human nature. I mean, that's really
okay.
what it comes down to is human nature. Um, so I'm curious. So everyone, I consider Sam a superhuman being, um, because I honestly don't have any clue how it was even possible to record, edit, do sound engineering, and upload her audiobook in less than a week. Like, I didn't even have my book recorded in a week because my voice would never have allowed me to record that much. And
Yeah.
then the editing took forever. So share some tips because
Yeah. So I recorded just on Zoom, and I turned off my um camera to where I wasn't focused on the camera. It was just the audio. And I uploaded it into Descript, and it could be completely kicked back from Audible, but I listened to it. It met their sound requirements and all the things, and I know Audacity is what you showed, and that's what somebody else had done, but I use Descript for everything. and I edit videos for my admin company and sent this is part of what I do.
Mhm.
So it's not hard. And I have it for me because I do it all the time. And I have the way I've done it because I do meditations for Safe Heart Connections and stuff. When I create those, if I mess up, I just stop for give me a break, and I see all those little breaks, so I can go in and just remove those really quickly.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
and
I usually do like a clap to mark it and then move on.
yeah, yeah. And so I have a system that works. My husband was gone one day working. Like I thought I was going to have to go to the office because the sound is typically better there. But when he wasn't here, I was able to do a test and I was able to sit right here. I didn't even have to go to the office and do it. And it sounds pretty good. So, there's a couple of things like that I could probably go back. There was one or two times where a word kind of got cut just a little, but it wasn't enough for me to go back and redo the whole thing on us. And I did a chapter, and then I had journal questions for each journal prompts for each one. So I have the chapter, the journal prompts, and they're divided into sections so that the journal, if somebody just wants to go back to journal prompts, they don't have to go and go all the way through the whole chapter on Audible. And I took y'all's advice in the book. There's going to be a page that says, because I know some people, Mary, I saw your response that you don't like to write in hardback books, like it's not conducive, right? And so it is a hardback book, and there are journal prompts. But at the beginning of the book, it's going to say if you'd like to get access to a PDF with the journal prompts to where you can take notes without having to write in the book, here's the link and a QR code. And then I'm putting that on the Audible version as well of if you, there are journal prompts throughout. If you want to get a free download, go here and I'll have resources. I'll have a thing like all the people I'm in programs that I mention. And on the end notes, what I at the end, I have the name and the URL. And you're mentioned too, Kathy. So surprise. And so on the file, if somebody goes to download the PDF, they'll be able to click through to get to any of those things that I mentioned.
Hey,
So
Sam.
are you also publishing though a paperback?
Hardback, only hardback,
Why is that?
because I didn't think about doing a paperback because I like the hardback.
I would suggest doing a paperback as well.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people like paperbacks.
Okay.
And
It
it
just
doesn't
feels it just feels better.
it doesn't cost you anything, and it gives your reader another option.
Another option. Okay, yeah, that's easy. I just have to, the file size is slightly different, so I'd have to convert
Yeah.
the size just a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. You never want to eliminate an entire group of people over your
Okay.
preference.
Yeah,
You
that's
may
valid.
prefer it, but you might be eliminating an entire group of people who will never buy your book
Yeah.
because it's not in paperback.
Okay, yeah, I hadn't thought of that. That's an easy fix. So see, I'm not a superhero.
Yes, you are.
I said a
Yes,
superhuman.
you are. Oh, yeah, whatever. I heard hero.
Of
Sam?
course you did.
This is too late because you've already done your Audible, but the next
Oh,
time
everything's
you do this,
editable. And then Annette, I saw you had your hand up too. Go ahead, Mary.
the next time you do this, think about for the link using tiny URL or one of those things that makes it, and you could make it, you know, or hosting it on SafeHeart if that's a website, safeheartconnections.com/
Slash book is what I did.
Okay, good. So it's something that's easy. I was afraid it was going to be, yeah. And yeah, that's
No,
great
I
if
did
you're
say,
clicking
yeah,
the QR, but
safeheartconnections.com/book. And right now I just have a like I haven't finished building that out,
right.
but it's there.
But
Yeah,
you had
good
already thought of
feedback.
that. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm loving
Yeah.
what you're doing. And
Thank
I
you.
agree with Kathy on the paperback. I'm much more liable to write in a paperback than in a hardback. I want the hardback just because it's going to be so pretty.
It is going to be pretty. It is. Yeah, my dad won't write in books, and every time he gives me a book, I'm like, you have to sign, you have to say you gave it to me and what date. And he's like, I don't write in books. I'm like, you're writing in this one. Hold on. So
And my other thing was what I am more inclined to do rather than downloading a PDF, because I don't take notes on the computer because I'm a boomer. All right. So I don't do the digital thing, I do the writing thing. So you could also say, hey, grab a notebook and label it
Okay.
this journal name.
Yeah.
And you can put all your
That's
thoughts in
smart.
that one notebook and have it consolidated together.
Yeah. That's good feedback too. That's an easy edit because I can go in and just edit that one section of the recording and get that done. Thank you. Annette, did you have a question for me or just a question for Kathy? Because I saw your hand and then you
Yeah, I have a
lowered it
question
down.
for you. I have a question for you. Since you edit, do you edit videos too, or just audio?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We do it all.
So what do you use to edit?
Descript. It's what I use for everything. I have an affiliate link I can send you. They give you their free version. You can do pretty much everything on. The only reason you wouldn't want the free version is because it has their logo on it. Like it's
Oh,
branded as Descript. There's other programs out there that work really, really well. Um, and I tried using some of them, but because I've used Descript for so long, it just makes sense to me. Um, and then they've really come a long way. When I first started using Descript, it really was just an editing thing. But now I can record the micro interviews I do for my community. I can have somebody come on to Squadcast. It's tied to them. They have a ton of B-roll that you can add in. They have better B-roll than
what
Canva.
what is a B-roll?
A B-roll is just like people doing something, they're out walking. Say I want to have a video where I have something pop in of women sitting around talking, drinking some coffee while I'm doing my voice is playing, but the video comes in of something else. That's B-roll. And they have more B-roll with more like types of people, types of situations. And so for creating video, I love it. I mean, it is the best program I've found. They have it. They
So
have all kinds of
is it
tutorials.
that script or Descript?
D script, DE script, D script. Yeah. And they have a ton of videos on YouTube to show you how to use it. And if you decide to try it, whether you end up using my affiliate link or not, just if you have questions, just message me and if I can help you, I will.
Okay,
Because I
that would be great.
truly it makes it so easy to go in. And if I say when I said I was recording and I would just do a hard stop for like 3 or 4 seconds, it shows me like the dead air. And so then I can just go and copy that, like highlight it and hit delete and it removes it all. Or they have a feature in there that's done by AI that says remove retakes, but it goes in and removes all, like if I say record this 1 2 3, record this 1 2 3, and they would record, it would remove the first ones. It almost always takes the last one, and I don't trust it enough yet to just say remove all of them. So I still listen and make sure it's the right one. But the other thing that I love about Descript is I have a hard time when I'm doing videos of looking at the camera. They have an eye center feature. So even if because like right now I'm looking at the camera, right? I'm looking up and y'all should see me, but what I typically do is do this. So it's not the
Right.
same, but it moves my eyes up. So I can be looking and be natural to me but it makes my eyes go up and it's just a button and I love it.
Yeah, that's a cool
So
feature.
yeah. So I would be happy to help you in that if you have any questions.
So yeah, I have like 9 videos to edit and a lot of audios, but I can't find a good program that,
Yeah.
and like I started and then I couldn't find it when
Yeah.
it was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Try Descript. Try Descript.
And
Yeah.
when you say message you, it's like in Facebook?
Yeah, you can message me on Facebook or email that if it's you can do sam@safeheartconnections.com is my main email for that. And
Sam,
that's
why don't you
easy.
give her your link too?
Yeah, let me find it. Hang on. I should have it right here. I'll grab it.
Okay. All
While
right.
y'all continue on.
So Annette, how are things going for you?
So much going, so much going. Oh my gosh. But as far as the book, I'm getting ready to write another one. Because I'm taking a course, a business course,
Hmm.
and it has one of the sections is book writing. And so I'm going to, well, it requires a thesis. So I have to write a thesis because I'm getting a master's
Oh,
uh, course. So I have to write a thesis. And so I'm praying about that because I have to have it done by October.
mm,
Uh, I was very encouraged that Sam did things so fast. But this one would be and Sam also can I have your email. Um, so I'm working on that. Like I said, I have 9 videos to edit and put out. So I'm going to start a YouTube channel. That's basically because it doesn't really fit with what it involves, several different things.
hmm
Also, I am developing a coaching course, uh, and it's for parents. But then I just changed this week because I kept getting this feeling that I'm not hitting the target. Uh, I was doing parenting by the book, and that's because a parenting course, but my heart is really it's for children, but you can't reach the children. You have to reach the parents. And I don't want my program to give the parents the assumption that there requires no real change for you. You just need to find out how to manipulate your child into obedience, you know, and that's not parenting. And that's a hard thing with me. It really requires the parent to put on a different identity, to be healed, to not parent from pain and from dysfunctions and from mistakes and all the negative things that we bring into parenting that ends up making the same child that we were trying not to create. Okay, so that's really my heart. And I am really talking to the Black community, but not addressing them directly, because my face will kind of attract the Black community. I will attract them, but there's so many people in the same condition, Christian women, Christian families that are reproducing. You already talked about it, Mary. You've already talked about it with Rod and with Mary. We've seen the church not being Christ. It's just the bottom line. It's just failed. And it's because we're bringing all of our pain into our next life and we're reproducing it and we don't understand and we beat the crap out of our children thinking that it's them and it's not, it's us. So that's just like, I could talk to you all day about that. So that's my parenting course. And the Lord basically shifted it from being parenting by the book to living by the book.
Mm.
And it's basically telling Christian women who are frustrated that they're not getting the outcomes that they want in their family to be healed first. Okay.
Yeah.
And to recognize that the healing, that parenting is easy when you are healed, when you are whole. So we have a lot of negativity in our culture. The Black community is notorious for the negativity. Very much. It just deep in it, just doing it and don't realize that
I don't think that's just it's everywhere.
Well, it is, but for some reason the Black community are the ones that speak the loudest. Okay, they're the ones that
yeah.
you get it? They're the poster
I got it
child.
now, yeah.
They're the poster child of victimization and pain.
Yeah.
Okay, even though, like you said, every human being has experienced that.
Yeah.
Every culture, every nation, every period in history has a victimized culture, a group of people that are suffering unjustly. And I'm saying, stop being the poster child for pain. Okay, we need to start healing. and our churches are infested with it. Also, and I use these strong words because it's where I believe, but the churches also, and that's what y'all hit on. And this, I grew up in the church, y'all did too. And so you see it, but it's the gospel is not being preached. Okay, let me just change it. The gospel is being preached but not lived. And so the gospel is good news. And so my message is like, bring the good news to our everyday life, our everyday lives. You know, stop being sinners saved by grace. That's our alcoholic label. I am a sinner. I say, no, not in Christ. We have been born again. So that's all of that messaging is what I want to put in my course in a very succinct way. So I've kind of changed from just being focused on, let me give you strategies to raise amazing children, to like first be an amazing person.
Yeah. Work on your.
And your children will follow. Your children would naturally follow your example. So that's what I'm working on.
Okay. Good. That's awesome.
But
All right. Lena, I don't know if you have anything you want to share. Feel free to jump in. Mary, anything?
I am sometimes I feel like I'm back where I was 15 years ago. Because on the one hand, hey, here's the topic, let me write this. And on the other hand, it's like, oh, wait, but what about, and what about, and so I'm still got that going every which way thing in my brain. And I know that God knows what needs to be in the book. Okay. And I know that he's got my back. And the one good thing is I can tell when I read some of the stuff that I've written, where is my authentic voice? Okay. And not everything that I have already written is in my authentic voice. And so I know if it's not in my authentic voice, it doesn't belong in the book. Or it needs to be tweaked until it is my authentic voice, whatever. But the working at the moment doesn't work.
Yeah.
But so I'm just like, okay, I'll just keep talking to God, and he's going to give me the words. I have, y'all can't see it, but my personal computer's over there, and the wall above it is nothing but papers that I've stapled up or thumbtacked up. And one of them says, oh, which one was it? There's so many. I had told somebody one time that the reason I'd stopped working on the book was I had reached the point where I needed to open a vein, right? Because I think it was Kierkegaard that said poetry is easy. You just open a vein and bleed on the page. Okay. And honestly, that's what it felt like the book was going to be. And what God said to me one day was, you need to release that expectation, because the words will come as they always do. And it won't be blood on the pages, but hope. And so that's right up there where I can see it every day to remind myself.
Good. Well, keep going. It'll get there.
Not quitting.
Yep. Good. All right. Well, today I just want to go over something real quick. Thank you guys for all sharing, because that saves my voice. The less I talk, the less I cough. And that's all advantageous to you guys. So I want to talk to you about the book description that you put out on Amazon, which is different than what you put on your back cover. It can be similar, but your back cover is limited in space. Your description on Amazon has 4,000 characters, and it's your sales pitch, basically. If your cover captures them to make them want to click and learn more about your book, the next thing people do is they go to your description and read that. And if that description is not any good, they probably won't buy your book. So you really need to write a compelling description. So I just wanted to pull some up and just review some today and let you see me. Hopefully we'll run across some good and some bad so you can see some differences. And I'm gonna let you guys kind of help me out with this. So let me share screen and get to Amazon. Okay, so we're in the Amazon book section. All right, somebody give me either a book title or a book genre. Throw it out there.
Through
You want to
Hope's
look?
Eyes.
What?
Through Hope's Eyes. And there is probably no description on that. That's my book that I published through Lulu and it distributes to Amazon. No, it's not that one. It's going to have a purple cover. That one.
Okay, let's see what you got.
So what's up at the top is the same thing that's on the back of the book.
Okay. So, all right, so let's take a look at this. For one, this is very short. There's when on your dashboard when you are putting your when you put in, like, I know you said this was through Lulu, but just in general, on your KDP dashboard, when you are entering your description, you have the ability to use bold, italicized, indent, bullet points, I believe, all of that. And so make use of all that formatting, because the human nature, again, is if we see a lot of text, we go past it. First, our eyes like to go to something bold or bullet points, and we look at kind of highlights, and then we might go back and reread the whole thing if that little bit is interesting enough to us. So I don't know if there's any way you can, through Lulu, go back and add more and all that or not. But otherwise, I mean, in this case, you might not have any way to fix it. But um, but this just gives you an idea of, even if you were doing this through KDP, how there's so much more you could do to this, and you're probably using 1/20th of what you have available to you in space.
So the
All right.
rest of y'all take this as an example of what not to
Of
do.
what not to do.
It's okay.
Thank you
Not offended.
for being the guinea pig, Mary.
Hey, you know what? It was 10 years ago. So
Yeah.
I've learned a lot since then.
All right. All right. Somebody give me another title or genre.
So I just put in the chat, you can copy the name of mine, but what I just realized, I think that the way I have the Kindle set up is supposed to be released on a certain day, and it made me do a pre-order. It didn't let me not. So I don't know if there's another setting, but if you search my book right now, The
Oh,
Living in the Overflow, The Power of Knowing Yourself, I want to see what comes up and if we need to change a setting, because I don't want of course Annette. Um I don't know if there's something else I need to do.
oops.
Nope, just Living in
Oh,
Overflow.
in overflow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oops. Come on. Living in overflow.
You may have to do The Power of Knowing Yourself as well. I don't know. I haven't looked. There we go, right there.
Okay.
So, but my question though, before you get to the description, which is fine, I want to do that, but is there a way, like, I don't want that to mess up um my launch date by having this early. Does that mess that up?
Um, let's see, because you said now this is pre-order. Okay, yeah, pre-order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it didn't give me a choice. It was either publish now or put the date, and then they automatically turn on the pre-order.
Yeah, you unless you save it as a draft and don't actually publish it, you had to pick one or the other. So your pre-order, your launch date is going to be the date and it says it right down here. This is going to be what they count as your first date of publication.
Okay, as long as
The
that's what I wanted to
pre-orders,
make sure.
do the pre-orders count towards first day purchases?
I saw some stuff that was very confusing on that.
Yeah. They're not super clear on it. It appears as though they do not. They will appear as sales, but not necessarily pre-orders. So, from what I took, from
Right.
what I read about it is, you'll end up going out and looking at like your previous month sales, and the sales, any pre-orders will show up there. And then, but they don't actually count towards your published date. So it's, and I read a lot of different forums. Unfortunately, most of them were old, but
Hmm.
straight out in KDP, the information, um, and I don't know, Sam, if you read through what I sent you, but
I
it
did.
was a little vague.
It was very vague.
Yeah. So
And I know that, so do you know when I change this, how long it takes to update? Because I've noticed that there's the last little paragraph there, the word connect is in there. And I've changed it on the back cover, and this is what I just used what was on the back cover. But
okay.
I've changed the back cover and I haven't updated this yet.
When you make a change, it'll be updated whenever they get around to reviewing it, which is usually within 24 hours. Um, could take longer, but typically they'll review it and they'll republish. They always say your book has been published, which I think is so
Yeah.
weird. Instead of saying your book's been updated, they say
Yeah.
your book has been published. So, and then once you make a change, you can't make any other changes for 24
Until
hours.
it's done. Yeah, yeah.
So you have a 24-hour waiting period. So don't make little random changes here and there, thinking you can go in and then change something else. You get one set of changes within 24 hours, and then that's it. You have to wait for 24 hours to do any more changes. So,
One of my friends told me that they thought that the coffee cup, the stuff, it looks like a frog coming out of the cup.
oh, I don't
And
see.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
Do y'all see it?
No,
If I squint, I can see that, but that's not the first thing I see.
yeah.
If you had not said that, I would have never
That's
seen it.
that's somebody that has been sitting in a psychiatrist's office and looking at little
She's one of
blobs.
my best friends.
Yeah, no, okay, I appreciate her creativity, but yeah, I don't see it.
All right. Yeah. So if you have any feedback on what I have there, because I literally just put what was on the back of the
Yeah.
book.
I would expand on it for sure because you have the space.
Okay.
You've got again, this is your sales pitch. What are they going to get out of the book? Why should they buy it? How is it going to help them?
Okay.
Without,
I'll rewrite it with that in mind.
yeah, without giving it away. What are they going to learn? How is this going to benefit them? Remember to touch on their pain point, emotions,
Mhm.
whatever, draw them in. I like that you put the bullet points in there, bold certain words, so they jump out, italicize, things like
Do
that.
you have do you have to use a different program to make the bold and stuff like,
No,
or is that just a
it's all
thing?
right there in the description box of your KDP dashboard. When you enter your description,
Okay.
all the formatting tools are right there.
Okay. I don't
Now,
think I've
as an example, on that first bullet,
Yep.
I would bold the word without.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Highlight certain things. Like I said, you want people's eyes to go to certain things, and though you've got the bullet points, it's all one color, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
bold,
That's very
italicized.
helpful.
You can even make headings. There's a heading setting in there. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'll make a commitment to work on that this week, and then next week we can look at it again if you want.
Okay. All right. So, just real quick, let me see. Come on. As I have a hard stop today.
actually have to go. I'll see you guys later. I gotta be someplace.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Just real quick. This is not right. Okay, let's do here.
I see the bold. It was there.
Yeah, stupid thing keeps moving around.
Yeah.
So you see, I got bolds in here. And I could even
Yeah.
improve upon this some too. You know, this was my first book. So, you know, those and I don't know, maybe it's because I'm in share mode, but it looks awfully tiny. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's my set. It might be my setting on
I
my
love your, where did you get
Oh,
that heart with the links? I need that image.
my book designer.
It's amazing. I have to go too. I've got a call at 11. So
All
I
right.
will see y'all later.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. All right, so that was just a quick reminder for those of you getting ready to publish to utilize your description as a sales page, bold it, catch the person's eye using formatting functions, and um, it's your second line of defense. Your first is your cover, and then is your description. So very important, and hopefully that's helpful. All right. Well, thanks everyone again for being here and for sharing. I do appreciate it because I was not wanting to have to talk too much today because it will make me cough. So thanks much and good luck everyone as you're continuing on with your launch. Looking forward to hearing more next week. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, Kathy. Bye, everyone.
Bye.